Hello everyone, welcome back. I had a special request this week. We are going to go over the NVIDIA games that are available. I'm going to go over them one by one, but first let's take a look at this app that NVIDIA released. It's called the Tegra Zone. And basically this app shows all the available games and kind of gives you a quick link to all those games that you can purchase or get for free on the marketplace. As you can see, there is not a wide variety of games yet. The Xoom has just been released, and it's going to take time for developers to make these games. But there is a couple games available, and I'm going to go over one, Dungeon Defenders, immediately after I look at this. I just have another announcement. PlayStation games are coming to Tegra devices, so that means the PlayStation games are going to be available on the Xoom. So this is kind of a good thing to come. We're going to expect to see this in the coming months, and we'll be able to play, PlayStation 1, maybe PlayStation 2 games as they port them. It's not something that's going to be immediately available of the entire library, but something that if the developers choose so, they'll port them for the platform, as well as future PlayStation games will be ported to the Android platform. So it's exciting news and very promising for gamers who have Tegra Android devices and for Xoom users. So let's take a look at Dungeon Defenders. So this is a tower defense based game, but it has a unique twist. It's not like any that I've ever played before. It has a little bit of an RPG element to it, and the graphics are really, really beautiful. You can tell the Tegra 2 takes advantage of the graphics, and the game takes advantage of the Tegra 2 graphics. This game is not just exclusively available for the Xoom. You can get it on your Android devices as well, as long as they have high enough CPU, GPU to play it. So let's just start this up. I'm going to choose one of my characters. Now, this isn't going to be a full-on game review. This is just letting you see what the game is like, letting you see and get to understand what you're doing. And I haven't played the game extensive enough to actually give a full-on review, but I can say right now that it is fun and it is unique. So here's the character that I'm playing. It's a magician, so the controls are kind of nice. On the left side, you kind of have a software simulated analog stick, so you move up, you go this way, you go back, and it's kind of an analog stick on the screen, and it works fairly well. There's some times when you're caught in the heat of battle, or at least I am, and I forget that I don't have a physical analog stick, and without that feedback I kind of move over and lose sight of the stick, and it does really well. You can see I'm turning and moving still, but when I lift up, you lose control and then you put back. So you can lose your placement because you don't have that feedback. But overall, moving around with the NVIDIA controller on the touchscreen is relatively smooth. You can see the graphics are wonderful. So on the right side is jumpings, and you also can attack. This is a mini attack, firing my little bolts, and then there's a defensive move. This kind of pushes everyone back. And so right now this is kind of like the inn. This is just where you can buy stuff, sell your gear, and before you go into the dungeon. So let's kind of take a look at a dungeon. I have not progressed that far into this game. Really, I only did this for the review, and so I really am just starting. So as you can see, I'm only on the first level. So like a tower defense game, basically you're defending this one point, and there's enemies coming in, and you have to make sure they are killed before they get to that point. And so the little twist on this is, you do build defenses, but you also have this character that can walk around and attack the enemies and build more defenses. And so there's two phases. So the first phase is the build phase, as you saw just come up onto the screen. And so basically you actually build these towers, and so I don't have enough mana, so I have to actually go, and in between each phases, the mana is dropped on the screen. In these little chests, you pick up the chest, you move over to the area you want to lay down your defense. And so here I am, I'm going to low down this tower, click OK, and then you kind of point where you want it to face. And this is kind of an attacking tower, so I want it to attack enemies that are coming from here. And why, you might ask? Well, you can see in there, from this door, our enemy is going to be coming out. So in the build phase, you're building these towers, and in the attack phase, the enemies are going to be coming out, and your towers are going to be defending, as well as you might be repairing those towers, you might be attacking the enemies, and your goal is to make sure that the crystal, which I'll be walking over to in a second, is safe. And you can see that, you know, the graphics are really, really sharp for a platform like this. I was very impressed. So this is the crystal that you have to defend. I'm going to build a couple more defenses before I start on, and then we can see the battle phase. So, you know, there's multiple entrances, so enemies can be coming from multiple doors. For this first wave, there's only one bout of enemies, so it's not going to be too difficult. So the controls are really nice. It's simple placement and adjustment. This game was, you know, first originally built for the smartphones, so there's times where reaching in the middle of the screen, since it's on a 10-inch screen instead of something much smaller, it's a little awkward, but overall it's pretty impressive. And so you see all, you know, there's a menu that pulls up, and there's a bunch of settings, and I'll go a little bit more in depth after I place this. So basically, there's a couple keys over here: jump, attack, defense, like I showed, and then this one, it kind of brings up a bunch of options. Common defense is, as you can see, you have this array of defenses that you can put out. As you level up, you unlock more. Right now, since I'm only level 3, I only have these two types of defenses. One's more of like a defensive type defense, why this tower actually attacks the opponent. If you go back, there's also this hero tab. This is where you can detonate your traps, you can heal yourself, you can pause the game, and you can look at your hero. So this is kind of the RPG element. Enemies and chests have actually unique items, weapons, armor, and you know, those armor can increase your stats, and so it has that RPG element to it, as well as you're gaining experience as you're defending the crystal, and you can level up your attack, your running speed, your attack speed, and your health, as well as leveling up certain abilities, your resistance to certain types of attacks, and your towers. Attack and defense and health. So it has a really nice RPG element, and it does lend itself to be addicting, like you would find any kind of RPG element. At least for me, I'm very good, or very addicted to RPGs. So the only thing that I guess I didn't talk to you about on the screen that's touchable is the map. So this kind of brings up the quick map. You get an overview of the area. You can see you have the enemies, where the crystal you need to defend is, where the chests are that you can still get your mana up so you can build more defenses, and you can also rotate the screen by going right and left here. So you know, the point of view usually stays behind the character and does a fairly well job, but it can get out of control at times. But for, you know, a first, this really is a first for the Xoom and the Android platform of this level of graphics. It's fairly impressive. So let's start the phase. So you can see the battle phase. And you can see there's its own separate button comes up, And now, here we go. We started the battle phase. So incoming enemies are coming. Combat phase. You can see my towers are attacking the enemies. And you can see now I'm highlighting enemies. So now all I can do is I can fire at them. And then the enemies drop loot. You can see there's loot here. Usually I just store the loot in the bank while I'm battling, and then look at it when I have more time. You know, that was a very simple wave. The waves get harder and harder as you go on. And so now you can see you can, heal your defenses. You can heal yourself, gather more mana. You can see now there's more enemies coming at different entrances, and it keeps on building and building. And you just got to be very strategic with your placements of battle armaments, because you can only place so much because you only have so much mana, and making sure they aren't destroyed. And it's a very fun game, and so you should definitely try it out. One really nice thing is this came with the Xoom. Normally you'd have to pay $5. This was free on the Xoom. Note, it doesn't say on your account that you purchased this game. So I can't play this on my Android phone. And if you go to the Android Marketplace on your Xoom, it doesn't say that you've purchased this game. So it's free on the Xoom, but this freeness does not transfer to any other device. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the game, and let me know if you have any more comments, anything else you want to see. Oh, one thing I left out, there are 2 other classes. There's a fighter class, and then I actually haven't played the 3rd class yet. But I just really wanted to show you what the game looks like, basic mechanics, and have a nice day.